Welcome to another edition of The Angry Lieutenant. And today what I want to talk about are 9 questions that as a junior NCO or a junior officer, you may want to put in your rucksack and be prepared to ask your superiors, your subordinates, and even yourself in order to help you clarify your purpose, your task, your mission, and how you're going to go about it. So without any further ado, let's go ahead and get started in 3, 2, Angry Lieutenant, come out and play. Angry Lieutenant, come out and play. Question number 1. Who else needs to know? Now at this point, that question has almost become cliche, but I'll tell you, it stood the test of time. And it's a good question to always ask yourself. Who else needs to know? Question number 2. What does that acronym or term mean? Let me tell you something. You are never so smart to where you are going to know every acronym, every term, every military definition, etc., etc. And you're going to run into those people who have their doctorates in acronyms. But let me tell you something. If you're in a room of 10 people and someone throws out an acronym or a term and you don't know what it is, when you ask, you're probably going to get 3 different definitions. And a clarification of that can completely change the conversation and get everybody back on track. So never, never shy away from asking something that you don't know about. Question number 3. Why? 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 You know, it's funny how at the interpersonal level in the military, we act like we're not allowed to ask why. But at the strategic and operational level of the military, why is always a given. Why in the commander's intent. Why is part of task and purpose. What we need you to do, what we hope to get out of what you're going to do. So never be afraid to ask why. And very often when you do ask why, it will tell you a lot about the way a person responds to you when you ask that question. Number 5, did you put your ass into it? Excuse me. Number 4, did you put your ass into it? Did you put your ass into it? Now, you can't say that anymore, so you ought to just take a page out of Paulo Coelho's book, The Alchemist, and just say, at the point of commitment, the universe will conspire to assist you. In other words, did you commit? Did you really try to get that done? Did you really try to get that accomplished before you came to me with a you couldn't get it done? Or, as I like to ask, did you put your ass into it? And number 5, who shot Johnny? Now let me tell you something. A lot of people will say, listen, I'm not worried about who shot Johnny. We just want to get it done. You know why? Because that was the person that shot Johnny. I'm always interested in who shot Johnny. You know why? Because the person who shot Johnny, if you don't put a stop to them, they become a serial killer. They become a mass murderer. See, what a lot of people don't understand is discovering who shot Johnny is all about epidemiology. Let's get to the root of the problem. We're not looking to crucify the person who shot Johnny, but we don't want to let them keep on keeping on shooting a bunch of Johnnies. So yes, I want to know who shot Johnny. Number 6. Who is they? No, really. Who the fuck is they? You know what? Let me tell you something. When someone comes to you with an issue and they say they, them, let me tell you something. You figure out who they and them is, you're 50% toward solving the problem. Who is they? Number 7. Did you go see for yourself? Did you verify? Number 8. Have you ever done what you're asking them to do?
You know, I love it when someone puts in a frag or an op order that the patient collection point is going to be 100 meters to the rear, and that people are going to be expected to carry those soldiers that 100 meters. Have you ever carried a soldier 100 meters? Let me tell you something. If you have, you're going to change that frago. Number 9, how are you? I call it the 3-second welfare check. Now that may seem a little shallow, but let me tell you something. You'll be amazed when you just sincerely ask people. And in order to sincerely ask them, you've got to sincerely care. How are you? How are you doing? How's your kids? How's your wife? How's your husband? And it helps if you remember their names. And those are the 9 questions. But if I had 10 questions, that question would be to myself. And I would have to ask myself, WWDD, what would Denzel do? My brother. Am I getting that right? Am I getting that right? Your money, my dollar. But let me... Your money, my dollar. Right? Is that right? Is that right? Is that